I joined a gym 3 months ago, and usually, I go in the evenings when it's less crowded, which makes me feel more relaxed. However, what happened last week completely changed my perception. That night, I was working out as usual. There was only one other person in the gym, a man dressed in regular workout clothes, nothing out of the ordinary. I didn't think much of it and continued with my routine. After finishing a set of strength training, I walked over to the water fountain. As I was drinking, I noticed the man approaching the machine I had just used. He glanced at it briefly and then quickly walked away. It seemed odd, but I didn't give it much thought. When I returned to the machine, my phone was missing. I had left it on the small rack next to the machine, but now it was gone. I searched around, but there was no sign of it. A sense of unease crept over me as I recalled the man's suspicious behavior. Could he have taken my phone while I was away? I decided to check the security footage at the front desk. The staff pulled up the footage from a few minutes earlier, and I anxiously watched the screen. Sure enough, I saw the man taking my phone right after I left the machine, then quickly leaving the gym. Worse still, he didn't scan his card when entering or leaving, meaning he wasn't a member. I asked the staff to contact the police, but they said I would have to wait for the manager to handle it. Frustrated, I went home, feeling a growing sense of dread. The next day, I borrowed a friend's phone and called my old number. To my surprise, someone answered. A stranger's voice came on the line, cold and threatening. "I know who you are, and I know where you live. Don't call the police, or else." Then the line went dead. Panic set in, and I immediately reported the incident to the police, explaining what had happened at the gym. They came to investigate, but no useful leads were found. The man in the footage kept his face out of view, deliberately avoiding the camera's gaze. A few days later, my social media accounts were hacked and private photos and information from my phone were leaked. My life was thrown into chaos. Despite the police's efforts, the man was never caught. I realized that even a place like a gym, where I felt safe, could harbor hidden dangers. From that day on, I stopped going to that gym and became much more cautious about everyone around me. I am a young engineer with a busy schedule, often working late into the night. After work, I usually head to a 24-hour gym in town to unwind. The gym is located in an industrial area, bustling during the day but eerily quiet at night. One night, after working late, I missed my usual workout time and had to go to the gym around midnight. When I arrived, the place was empty, and the gym felt oddly spacious, with a damp smell lingering in the air. I started running on the treadmill, my favorite music playing through my headphones. Immersed in my own world, I tried to shake off the day's stress, but soon, I noticed something strange. I could hear faint sounds outside my headphones, like metal clanking and soft footsteps. Taking off my headphones, I looked around, but the gym was still empty. I told myself it was probably just the machines or my imagination, so I continued my workout. However, a growing sense of unease crept over me. I noticed a man in a hoodie standing in the corner of the gym, his back turned to me. He seemed to be doing repetitive exercises on a machine, but oddly, he made no noise. What unsettled me more was that he stayed in the same position, as if completely unaware of my presence. Feeling uneasy, I decided to move to another area of the gym. But no matter where I went, I would find the man nearby, always in a shadowy corner, silently watching me. Whenever I glanced his way, his eyes would quickly dart away, as if deliberately avoiding eye contact. The eerie atmosphere was getting to me, so I decided to cut my workout short and leave. But as I headed to the locker room, the man suddenly appeared at the entrance, blocking my way. He wore a disturbing smile and asked in a low voice, "Isn't it a little unsafe to be here so late?" I forced myself to stay calm and replied, I was just finishing up my workout. I'm leaving now." The man said nothing more but continued to stand there, seemingly assessing my every move. I avoided looking directly at him, quickly put on my jacket, and made my way to the exit. As I left the gym, my heart was racing. I jogged to the parking lot, swiftly got into my car, and locked the doors. Glancing in the rearview mirror, I saw the man standing at the gym entrance, watching me drive away. When I got home, I realized that what had happened that night might not have been a mere coincidence. I decided I would never go to the gym alone late at night again. A few days later, I learned from a friend who also frequented the gym that the man was actually a well-known mentally unstable vagrant in town, who had been taken away by the police several times for harassing people. This discovery confirmed my decision to completely change my late-night gym routine. I worked the night shift at a 24-hour gym in New Jersey. The gym was usually quiet at night, with hardly anyone coming in. It gave me the freedom to tidy up equipment, organize weights, and sometimes even take a short break. However, what happened that night still sends chills down my spine. That night, the gym was empty except for me. It was the usual dull routine. I was wiping down the equipment behind the counter, occasionally glancing at the workout area. Suddenly, a man walked in. He was tall and thin, dressed in black workout clothes, with a sharp but uneasy look in his eyes. He headed straight for a treadmill but just stood there, not starting his workout. I noticed he was constantly looking at the mirror, as if checking behind him. Minutes passed, and he still hadn't moved. Feeling something was off, I walked over and asked if he needed help, but he simply shook his head and continued staring at the mirror. At that moment, the gym lights flickered a few times and then went out completely, plunging the room into darkness. The sudden power outage made me tense. I pulled out my phone and turned on the flashlight, barely illuminating the area. The man was still standing by the treadmill, unmoving, as if something had caught his attention. I tried to calm myself, telling him I would check the circuit box. As I walked towards the back where the circuit box was, I heard faint footsteps behind me. I quickly turned around, but saw nothing, only the faint hum of the treadmill motor. I quickened my pace, trying to restore the power as fast as I could. However, no matter what I did, the lights wouldn't come back on. When I returned to the front desk, the man was gone. I scanned the entire gym, trying to find him, but it was as if he had vanished into thin air. Feeling increasingly uneasy, I decided to call the police. When the police arrived, they searched every corner of the gym with their flashlights, including the locker rooms and equipment storage. However, they didn't find anyone or anything unusual. We reviewed the surveillance footage together, but the recording showed that the man had never entered the gym. Despite the lack of evidence, I vividly remember the man's presence, his strange posture by the treadmill, and his unsettling gaze in the mirror. To this day, I cannot understand what happened that night. My coworkers couldn't explain it either, and I'm left with a lingering sense of unease about that night shift.